Good morning. Fun night overnight. It seemed we knew about this story previously, but it seemed that because I remember talking about it earlier in the week, that the BOJ were discussing the yield curve and the management that they're looking at. But apparently, a story last night was dropped on the. It came out and hit the newswires, and that was the catalyst for everything to turn around in a real hurry. And we saw stock markets get spanked, everything gets spanked, and particularly the yen and the yen crosses all got hit thanks to the BOJ story that they're going to manipulate the yield curve or change what they're doing. They're currently manipulating the yield curve in an attempt to obviously battle inflation. They've got interest rates at zero already, so that I think they're actually even negative interest rates, and so it's the management of that yield curve going out that they're doing. And the story was that there's a discussion on that. So you can see here across all those yen pairs against the majors that the yen certainly strengthened considerably. Now, the other day when the story was first released, the yen weakened considerably on it. So a bit of a turnaround. But all assets, US dollar was the beneficiary of it. And particularly, as you can see here, the US bonds, like that's the 10-year bond there, doing very well. And it's over that 4% level, which is the level that I've been talking about, that if it gets into the sort of mid fours, then that's when things start to get nasty for the US economy, and a potential recession or soft landing is going to happen. Now, we mentioned soft landing because of the inflation. US inflation is slowly coming off, and interest rates. The US economy is still doing well. Like the jobs market is still quite tight, and growth is still there, although growth is anemic. It's not massive. It's still happening. So that's why I say a soft landing. Interestingly, the guy who built and owns Interactive Brokers, very smart guy, said that the US is going to have a crash landing, and don't fool yourselves. You should be selling stocks. Don't be buying stocks up here. And the stock market, on the back of that BOJ news, tanked, as you can see, hit hard. That's the 500 massive bearish engulfing bar. Nasdaq, not a engulfing bar, but obviously a big sell-off as well. And then we see the dollar index rally. I didn't move that line. That line's been there for a couple of weeks now, and the market stopped right on it, filling that massive gap down. So where to from here? Well, the US dollar was the safe haven flow overnight as the market bailed out of yen. I guess the story is going to be the BOJ today, right? So whether or not they do announce a change in the yield curve, if that change is happening, then you'll see more the flow that happened overnight, which is out of stocks and into US treasuries. That flow would continue. Now, if it was just a rumor and the story has no basis, then obviously things will change again, and you'll see the US dollar maybe weaken somewhat. So dollar yen, that's a massive bearish engulfing bar. It should come back and fill that until the BOJ, which is generally around 2 or 3 p.m. Australian time, or Eastern Seaboard time. It's not an exact scheduled announcement. It is scheduled, but it's not at the same time every time. Pound, was looking good, not so good now. Bearish engulfing. So what did we talk about yesterday? Was this head and shoulders on the dollar yen, and this is the neckline. Yeah, so I'll see if I can draw that head and shoulders for you. Just give me a pen, brush. Right, that'll do. So there's one shoulder, there's the other shoulder, and there's the head. Yeah. And this would be the neckline across here. So that could be happening if you like chart patterns. Whereas the pound, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a head and shoulder, but certainly a lower high now. And if it breaches this low here, then that uptrend is well and truly broken. That's the first warning sign that the uptrend is over with a lower high. But time will tell. And then the euro dollar, absolutely smoked. Stopped right on the 50 EMA. I think it's probably wise just to stay on the sidelines right now. Get rid of that. Go away. Thank you. And Aussie dollar, well, it's just going nowhere. So, yeah. To be honest with you, I think it might be best to just take Friday off and come and have a look at this again on Monday or Tuesday. Things are just a little tricky with that kind of move overnight. You can't rely on technicals. You have to look at the fundamentals, and the fundamental picture is also a little murky. So I'll love you and leave you. You guys have a lovely weekend and trade accordingly. Stay safe. I'll see you Monday.